There was a trembling glint beneath a veil of frostlight. A breathless shimmer resting not upon glass, not upon stone, but upon memory itself. No frame surrounded it. No pedestal raised it. The mirror simply hovered, still, waiting. Deep, in the middle of a stone field that shimmered like moon-pale grass, caught halfway between winter and waking, and there was no wind, no night bird called, no trace of yesterday's footprints, only the hush and the hum. A gentle vibration just below hearing, almost like the memory of a song that had once meant everything, now blurred at the edges, but echoing still in the quiet beneath your ribs. You do not know how long you've stood there, or, if you've only just arrived, time here does not follow. It lingers. It leans softly inward, then forgets. The mirror before you does not reflect. Not in the way you expect. As you approach, your reflection does not greet you. Instead, a flicker of someone else. A figure cloaked in candlelight, face half veiled in golden fog. They look not at you, but into you, through you, as though searching for a name they once knew, but have not dared to speak in lifetimes. The surface of the mirror shivers, not like water, not like glass, but like breath, held too long, now beginning to sigh. You draw closer. The field around you glows dimmer, not darker, as if the stars themselves were beginning to sleep. And then the mirror shows you something deeper. Not your face, not your skin, but what memory carries beneath silence. There, a child kneeling beside an empty cradle. There, a cloaked figure tracing their fingers through the air, spelling out the shape of a name that has no sound. There, a hallway filled with closed doors, each one breathing softly, as if dreaming. You place your hand upon the mirror. It is not cold, not warm, only familiar, devastatingly familiar, like the lullaby your mother never finished, like the letter you never sent, like the way someone once looked at you before they looked away. And then, the field begins to dissolve, not crumble, not vanish, just dim, its edges growing soft, the way dream snow melts in morning light. The mirror does not resist. It receives. Its surface ripples, once, like a sigh held in silver mist. And then, the world reshapes. Where once there was pale grass and starlit stone, there now rises a stairwell made of drifting mist, spiraling upward into a sky with no stars, only memory. You begin to climb, and with every step, you are less of who you were. Not forgetting, but unfastening. The stories you carried begin to flutter away from you, soft and weightless like petals on wind. Your name feels distant now, still yours, but echoing from somewhere behind. And yet you feel no fear, only a quiet reverence, the kind that fills chapels just before prayer. The mirror is gone now, its image no longer before you, but its silence, its hush, follows, like a thread, invisible, pulling gently, gently, onward. You ascend, and as you do, the stairwell widens, stretching into a passage suspended in starlit dusk. Here, walls are made not of stone or air, but of slow-moving dream. Veils drift across the corridor, soft as old breath. Each one brushes against your skin and brings a sensation with it. A hand once held, a tear not cried, the smell of old cedar and forgotten rain. Every step leads you not forward, but deeper. As though the path is not through space, but through the folds of memory itself. There is a door ahead now, or what remains of one. Its frame is broken, the wood cracked with time, yet it glows softly, as if it too remembers being whole. You pass through it without touching, and find yourself in a room without corners. The floor breathes. The ceiling flickers like starlight beneath water. In the center of the room floats a shape, a cradle, the same as before, empty still, but now, beside it, a shadow. Your own. No, not quite. It moves with your breath, but not your will, and when it turns to face you, it smiles, not cruelly, not kindly, just knowingly, like an old friend who has waited longer than time permits. The shadow places its hand upon the cradle and vanishes. The cradle rocks once, and you understand, not in words, but in sensation, that the shadow was not someone else. It was a moment, a piece of you that never left this room. You turn, and the room is no longer there, not gone, but already become something else. Now, you drift across a corridor lined with mirrors, each one cloudy, like breath held on glass. You pass them slowly, and in each reflection, something different waits. A candle flickering in an attic during rain. A girl dancing alone beneath snowfall. An old man writing a name on his hand, then closing his fist as if to keep it. You reach one mirror that does not cloud. Its surface is still and endless. And this time, it does reflect. But not your face, your absence, the way the world looked when you weren't in it. A field with no footprints, a chair with no imprint, a melody with one note missing. The silence is unbearable. And then, it softens. Because in that absence, you see something else. The space you left behind, glowing with all the weight of what you loved. The mirror sighs and begins to fade. Not away, but inward. You follow it not with steps, but surrender, and find yourself once again in the stairwell, but now descending. The mist coils below, wrapping your ankles, whispering in languages older than dreaming. You hear a name, not yours, spoken so softly it echoes twice. The air begins to glow violet, then pale gold, then soft grey. The stairwell ends, and you step into a garden that does not bloom. It hums. Everything here is made of sound. The grass sings gently when bent beneath your feet. The trees hum in chords, and the air, thick with pollen light, vibrates with lullabies never sung aloud. In the middle of the garden is a chair. Upon it, an old woman sits, veiled in silver. She does not look at you, but she speaks. You are not here to see. Her voice is the sound of a bell that once rang during a snowfall no one remembers. You are here to be seen. And, suddenly, the garden glows brighter. Each leaf reflects a piece of you, not your body, but your becoming. The smile you gave when no one saw. The moment you forgave yourself, but never told a soul. The dream you buried because it asked too much of you. They shine, shimmered into the leaves, delicate as breath on glass. The woman rises. She walks past you. Her veil brushes your shoulder like starlight through water, and then she is gone. The chair remains, empty, waiting. You sit, and the mirror returns. Not in front of you, within you. Its silence, its patience, its ache. You close your eyes, and now you are not walking through the dream. You are the dream. The corridor, the veil, the shadow, all of them bloom inside you. The mirror no longer remembers. It becomes the field, the figure, becomes the moment you first looked inward and saw something you could not name. And as the garden dims and the music fades to hush, you rise from the chair and walk slowly toward the edge of the dream. Ahead, a new corridor unfolds, one made not of mist or mirrors, but of breath. The walls pulse gently, like a heartbeat still forming, and at the far end, a door, simple closed, but glowing at its edges, like a thought that has not yet been spoken. You reach for the handle, but you do not turn it yet. You stand there, still, quiet, listening. and from the other side, you hear it. A voice you've never heard before, but one you've always known. It whispers only one word. Not your name, not a command, only welcome, and the door begins to open. A bell tolls, but not from above. It rises from somewhere deep beneath the earth, as though the roots of the world itself were remembering something, or mourning it. The sound travels not through air, but through soil, through stone, through the spaces between memory and marrow. It hums upward like warm breath in winter, and with every toll, the ground seems to soften, not to sink, but to open. Here, there is no sky, only cloudlight, unraveling slowly, drifting backwards into dusk. And beneath it, at the base of a tree with branches like frozen waves, the mirror waits. It does not shimmer, it does not call, it waits. You do not remember walking here, and yet your footprints linger behind you, steaming faintly in the cool, damp earth, as though your presence is warmer than time itself. The trees, bark curls in concentric circles, each loop layered like the rings of a song never finished, not carved, but grown, the way memory sometimes folds in on itself when it no longer knows the difference between blooming and falling. The mirror leans against the roots, half buried, half risen. It hums gently, with the same low breath as the bell beneath your feet. Its surface is not glass, but something softer, something that feels like silence, learning how to dream again. You kneel, and the ground beneath you responds, moss rising like breath, cradling your knees as though the earth remembers the shape of waiting. In the mirror, your face does not appear. Instead, fireflies, a slow bloom of them, drifting through what looks like the ruins of an empty cathedral, each wing a flicker of lost warmth, each glow a scene, a hand releasing a letter into water, a window rimmed in frost, painted with names no one dared speak aloud, a face turning away, not out of fear, but of knowing, the ache of recognition. Stopped one heartbeat too soon, the bell tolls again, slower now, and the tree leans slightly toward you, as if listening. The mirror does not pull you, it invites. Its surface ripples, not like water, but like breath across candlelight. You reach out. Your fingers pass through. They do not disappear. They unweave. Each knuckle, each line of your palm gently, loosening, becoming not less, but remembered, as though movement itself were a memory returning home. And as your arm drifts forward, your breath becomes still, not held, not lost, just still. You lean in. The tree bends with you, and for a brief moment, you feel the bell pause between tolls, as if listening for your heartbeat before it dares to sound again. Then the reflection shifts. The fireflies drift outward, carried by unseen wind, leaving the cathedral behind, and the mirror becomes a doorway, not opening, becoming. In its glass, you see something impossible, the future, frozen, still, unmoving, and beside it the past, walking backward, gently dissolving into shadows. You step through. There is no resistance, only soft unraveling. The mirror closes behind you like an eye going to sleep, and the tree is gone. You are barefoot on a surface that doesn't ripple, doesn't sink. It glows softly, but holds no light. Ahead, an ocean moves, but not with water. Its waves do not break. They breathe, and scattered across its vast stillness, thousands of mirrors, floating, each one the size of a heartbeat, each one glowing faintly, like waiting. There is no wind, no moon, only silence and memory. You walk toward them. There is no path. But with each step, the world beneath your feet solidifies. Not from stone, not from sand, but from recollection. The memory of walking builds the path itself, as if the world is being made by your becoming. The mirrors begin to glow brighter as you approach. One pulses softly. You kneel beside it. Within its surface, a single feather drifting downward in reverse, rising toward a bird whose wings no longer move. You blink and the scene changes. Now it shows a door, just slightly ajar. Light spills through, not outward, but inward. And within the light, a chair, empty, waiting. You reach toward the mirror, but before you can touch it, it rises. Not quickly, not suddenly, but like mist pulled by unseen wind. It joins the sky above, taking its quiet story with it. Another mirror floats near your feet. This one trembles faintly, as though afraid of being seen. Within it, a memory, yours, but it feels different, as though it remembers you more clearly than you remember yourself. You look away. The path continues. You keep walking, and the mirrors slowly part for you, as if they too are remembering how to move. The sea around you does not reflect. It absorbs. Your shadow falls into it like ink into velvet. The silence is not empty. It is full of waiting, full of breaths, never spoken aloud. You pause, and then you hear something. Soft. So soft, it feels like something inside you, long asleep, is beginning to stir. A voice, not with words, but with warmth, calling gently, not toward it, but inward. You follow. The mirrors begin to cluster closer now, creating walls of slow-turning light. Each one whispers softly, not sound, but feeling. One mirror hums of forgiveness, another of parting. One weeps silently, and you feel the echo in your ribs, and then you reach the heart of it, a space where the mirrors curve into a circle, an opening in the ocean, shaped like an eye that forgot how to close. In the center, a single mirror, larger than the rest, still, unmoving. Within it, a cathedral again, not in ruins this time, but whole. Its ceiling open to a sky filled with stars that blink once every 100 years. Pillars made of fog and memory. A choir of silent figures cloaked in light, mouths closed, but singing with breath alone. You step forward. The mirror ripples once, and without thinking, without fear, you enter. The cold never comes, only the hush. You are standing now inside the cathedral. It does not recognize you, but it accepts you. The fireflies return, one by one, glowing softly in the vaulted heights, their wings humming the shape of forgotten songs. You walk past the pews, empty but dustless, as though they were never abandoned, only paused. At the altar, a book. Its pages flutter in wind that does not move. Each page is blank, but heavy. You reach for it. As your fingers graze the surface, a whisper rises, not from the book, but from behind it. A child's voice, speaking a name you do not remember until it is spoken. And then, a warmth in your chest, a weight, long buried, long mourned. You close your eyes, and the cathedral vanishes. You are drifting again, not falling, not rising, only drifting. The mirrors now orbit you, glowing softly, circling like moons with no planet, and from far below, the bell tolls once more, slow, deep. But now it sounds less like mourning and more like awakening. You look down and see the tree again, its branches stretching outward, its bark spiraling in ancient memory. You are above it now, drifting gently, back toward the ground, back toward the place where the mirror once waited, but it is no longer there. Where it stood is now a pool, still and silver. You land softly at its edge. The surface does not ripple, but it reflects, not you, not the sky, only the shape of a door, floating just beneath the water. And beside it, your name, carved not in letters, but in light. You reach forward, the water accepts you, and the world becomes quiet once more. Only the slow chime of the bell remains, echoing into the dream still to come. And from beneath the surface, a new mirror begins to rise, its frame glowing with warmth, its center still unopened, waiting. The air thickens with the hush of unfolding, of something near, something sacred. The bell tolls again, once, then fades, and the path ahead reshapes, leading, softly, into the next silence. There is a mountain that breathes beneath the sky, not with wind, but with time. Its ribs carved not by rain or ice, but by memory folding inward. And somewhere within its heart, behind a veil of stone too smooth to be natural, a door waits. You do not open it. It opens for you, not all at once, but like an eyelid, heavy with dreaming, and inside, silence. But not empty. The kind of silence that listens. A silence full of breath that once carried names, of thoughts that once dared to echo, now cradled in stillness like moths asleep in velvet. You step in, barefoot, and what meets you is not a room. It is a library, not of books, but of hourglasses. Thousands. No, more. Each shelf a cathedral of glass, time suspended inside like amber caught mid-fall. Some hourglasses tick gently forward, grains of starlight slipping with reverence. Others run backward, and some rise, their sand floating upward in defiance, as if memory could reverse its weight. You walk slowly. Every breath you take glimmers softly inside the glass chambers, casting flickering light like echoes too faint to call. Your name. The air is cool, but not cold. It tastes like paper and rain that never reached the ground. At the center of the temple, unmoving, untouched by dust or reflection, the mirror waits. It does not lean, it does not hang, it simply exists, a soft shape carved of fog and gravity. Its surface is not silver, not glass. It is the breath left behind when someone says goodbye. You move toward it, not to see, but to remember what looking once meant. There are figures here, moving in slow circles around it. Robed silhouettes, lanterns dim in their hands. The lanterns cast no light upon the ground, only upward, toward the ceiling of time. These figures do not glance at you, they do not need to. They know you are here, they have always known. Their feet leave no sound, but their passage rustles pages you cannot see, pages written in invisible ink. And this mirror begins to shift. Within its surface, a pulse, not yours, but something deeper. It shows not what was, not what could be, but what is always being undone. The memory of choosing, the moment just before becoming, the hush before a heartbeat shifts. And then, behind you, a voice, soft, never spoken aloud, but unmistakably clear. This is where time brings what it cannot hold. You do not turn to find the speaker. You already know where it came from. The voice was not from behind you. It was from before you, before your name. You lift your hand toward the mirror. It fogs at your touch, as though the glass is sighing. And then, the frame expands, not as a door, not as a window, but like a pupil, dilating, opening, receiving. You do not step through. You are drawn, not pulled. Welcomed. Weight leaves you, not all at once, but gently. First your hands, then your feet, then your name. You are floating, weightless. The hourglasses are gone, and above you, below you, all around, stars. But they do not burn. They drift. Each one moves slowly, as if suspended in the breath of some vast, sleeping god. You are barefoot among them. Your arms trail wind that does not stir. You do not breathe, but you are not breathless. You are still. You pass a version of yourself, younger than memory, older than dreaming. They do not see you, but they smile. And it is not the smile of greeting. It is the smile of recognition, of reunion, as if they knew, always, that you would return. You drift past them, and time does not pass. It unfolds. The stars begin to pulse, not with light, but with story. One star glows red. Within it, a girl tracing the edge of a lake that has no reflection. Another blinks silver. Inside, a man whispering a secret into a bottle, then letting it sink through snow. A third trembles blue. There, a hallway with no doors, only windows. And each one opens onto a different version of you. Not alternate, not imagined. Remembered from dreams you never told. And as you pass through this constellation of what might be, what might have been, what lingers beyond naming, you begin to fade, not into nothing, into rhythm. You become the space between each chime of light, the pause between memory and breath. Time still moves, but you are no longer inside it. You are around it, a watcher, a witness, a whisper. You sense the mirror behind you, not as an object, but as a sensation. The way you feel a lullaby long after it's gone quiet. It does not close with sound. It folds, like light being remembered. You are not trapped. You are woven. And the library, it breathes. You see now that the hourglasses were not just keeping time. They were dreaming it. Each grain a moment relived, repainted, rewritten. Some hourglasses weep as they turn. Some glow with laughter that never faded. Some crack gently under the weight of silence. And yet, all remain. Time, here, is not lost. It is held, offered, invited. You pass another star. This one flickers softly, gold and green. Within it, a child asleep beneath a tree of bells. None ring, but they hum, and the hum becomes familiar. It echoes in your bones. It shapes your breath, and suddenly, you are no longer drifting. You are standing in a room made of nothing but pages, each one blank, each one glowing faintly from within. You do not need to read them. You already know what they say, because the words are not written in ink. They are written in time. Each page holds a moment, not kept, but cherished. A glance you didn't know meant something, a silence that once carried you home. A hand brushing yours, not held long enough to be love, but too long to be forgotten. You step forward, and the pages rise. They do not fall. They ascend around you, swirling like birds learning how to return to the sky. And then they vanish, all but one. It drifts downward, slow, deliberate. You catch it, and upon it, not words, but a mirror, drawn in charcoal, soft at the edges, smudged like breath on frost. You touch the page, and you are inside it, inside the drawing, inside the mirror, inside the hush. A bell rings once, not behind you, not before you, within you, and the sound does not echo. It lingers. You open your eyes, and now you are standing once again inside the library, but it is no longer a mountain. It is a memory of one. The shelves have no dust. The hourglasses no longer hold sand, but light. And the mirror at the center glows with the breath of every dream you've ever forgotten. You do not approach it. You bow your head, and the mirror bows in return. You walk backward, each step undoing the silence, softening the air. At the threshold, you pause. The door, still open, waits. You step through, and behind you, The mountain exhales, a long, deep breath, half mourning, half gratitude. Ahead, a corridor of stars, each one blinking slowly, inviting you forward. And in the distance, a shape begins to form. Not a figure, not a place, but a question. One you have always known and never dared to answer. Yet you walk toward it, barefoot, weightless, glowing. Because you are no longer the one who dreams. You are the dream, and the rhythm has only just begun. It begins with veils. So many veils, layer upon layer of hush. Even the light is veiled here, dimmed and softened, like it too has forgotten how to shine. A room stands in silence, wrapped in gauze. Not cobwebs, not dust, but time, thinned and folded over itself until it became translucent. Chairs stand draped in pale fabric, their edges blurred by forgetfulness. Windows are shrouded in linen, glowing faintly, though no sun presses against them. Even the air hums quietly through cloth as though the room is not built from walls and corners, but from memory itself, trying not to wake. In the center, above a floor that doesn't creak, doesn't echo, something floats. The mirror, not hung, not held, suspended, like a breath waiting to be remembered. It does not shimmer. It does not beckon. It simply exists. In quiet persistence, you step forward, and the silence deepens. The kind of silence that makes you feel heard, completely. The kind that hushes your bones. Even your thoughts grow slower, as if reverence has taken hold of them. You draw close, close enough to see, not your face, but a hallway without walls. Just rows of lanterns, drifting in fog. Some float low, pulsing like soft hearts. Others rise, flickering like memories ascending toward their final forgetting. With each heartbeat, one lantern extinguishes, softly, tenderly, without fear, and yet the path continues, endless. You feel it, not in your chest, but in your shadow. It leans forward before you do, reaching, curious, as though it remembers something you have not yet seen. The mirror ripples, not like water, more like fabric stirred by thought. You expect to pass through, but the mirror does not open like a gate. It folds outward, like quiet water learning how to take shape. And the shape it becomes is you. You do not step through with your body. You enter with your longing. You become motion, breathless and boundless, pressing into the hush. Inside, sound falls away. Only one remains, the pulse of distant waves, not crashing, only arrivings, if the sea has forgotten how to break, only how to come home. The hallway curves, and around you, the lanterns continue to drift. Some glow golden, like candlelight at the edge of sleep. Others shimmer blue, like lullabies hummed from across a closed door. They float closer, nearer, each one carrying something, a memory, a moment, a fragment. You look into one and see, a cradle rocking slowly, though no one watches. In another, a smile across candlelight, never returned. And in another, still, a door, once closed, still waiting to be opened. They do not speak, but they sing. Their light, a kind of music you only hear with your bones. You walk slowly. The fog thickens, but your steps do not falter, because the light does not guide you. It remembers you. The mirror fades behind, its surface no longer visible, but its presence echoes in your breath. It lingers in the way your fingertips feel warm, in the way your heartbeat no longer needs to rush. And as you move forward, something inside you begins to dissolve, not disappear, dissolve, the way sugar disappears in warm tea. the way names become whispers. You feel it, your name, letting go of you, not erasing, not abandoning, just releasing. Given back to the wind where it once began. You do not grieve it. You bow quietly, and the fog accepts your offering. The lanterns drift farther, apart now, revealing more of the path. And ahead, the hallway forks, but not in the way you've ever known. There is no left, no right, no sign to follow. One path rises into sky. The other descends into memory. You pause, not in confusion, in reverence, because you understand. This is not a choice of direction, it is a choice of depth. One path leads to becoming, the other to remembering. You stand between them for a moment that is not bound by time. And then, without words, you move. The fog lifts slightly, and as it parts, the lanterns begin to hum louder. Not urgent, not alarming, but like a farewell sung by those who know you must go. They do not follow. They return to their drift, carrying the fragments they keep. And you walk forward, not into light, not into shadow, but into stillness. A stillness so complete, it feels like you are stepping into the breath between stars. The corridor dissolves around you, replaced now with sky, not above, all around, a sky that holds no stars, only faint glowing threads, like spider silk stretched between forgotten dreams. You walk upon one, each step delicate yet unbreaking. Below you, there is nothing. Above, everything, all at once. You do not fall. You float, your body made of thought, your thought made of hush. The threads begin to shimmer. They vibrate faintly, not with sound but with story. Each tremor a tale never told, each vibration a truth that never needed words. You reach out and touch one. It quivers and blooms. A vision unfurls before you. A child standing in snowfall, watching as a lantern drifts upward into sky, tied with a ribbon made of breath. Another thread. You touch it and see yourself. Not as you are, but as you were before the forgetting. Standing before a mirror, not to look, but to forgive. The threads begin to gather, weaving into shapes. Doors, windows, rooms made of veils, moments made of pause. You walk among them. Each step, a surrender. Each breath, a becoming. The stillness deepens, and then a final lantern appears. Just one. It hovers before you, flickering with soft gold. Inside it, a single chair, empty, but warmed by presence. It waits. You understand. You sit, and the thread beneath you glows brighter. It carries you now, gently, back towards something that feels like home. Not a place, not a person, but a silence that remembers your name, even though you no longer need it. Ahead, the fog returns. But now it is soft, familiar. It does not obscure. It embraces. You drift into it, and the lanterns, one by one, extinguish. Not in sorrow, but in rest. A final ripple moves through the mirror. Far behind you now, it folds once more, then disappears, and the world once again reshapes. A breeze stirs, a bell rings somewhere far below the earth. A veil lifts from the sky, and a path begins to glow, leading onward. You do not follow it. You become it, and the stillness hums with the promise of what is yet to be remembered. There is a river here, but it does not carry water. It flows with drifting veils of light, soft as breath, thin as silk, spun from forgotten stars. They move slowly, with the rhythm of an old lullaby, not sung, not played, only remembered. Their color changes with the air, lavender, dusk gold, pale green, the faint silver of morning fog slipping through leaves, and along the river's edge, The mirror rests, half embedded in a cracked stone, as if the world itself once tried to keep it still. When the wind passes, if it can be called wind, the stone hums. Not loudly, just enough to feel it beneath the skin, like the way a name echoes softly in your chest long after it's been spoken aloud. The veils in the river do not ripple, they listen. Each strand glows faintly, and within each, a voice, a murmur, a word you once knew in a dream. You kneel beside the mirror, the grass below you faintly warm, not with heat, but memory. Your fingertips hover above the glass. You expect to see your face, but it does not appear. Instead, 1,000 petals falling backward, upward, back into their buds, colours folding in reverse, soft pinks, deep reds, cloud-white blossoms gathering their bloom and slipping silently into stillness. Time, here, does not pass. It unwinds. A tree unblooms behind you. A song retreats into silence before its first note. A tear slides back into the eye that once released it, not with sorrow, but with peace. None of it feels like loss, only reverence, like watching stars fade into morning, not because they are gone, but because they are resting. The mirror shows none of what you are, only what still waits beneath what you've become, the part of you untouched by name, the version that watched the world before your first breath. You reach to touch the mirror, and it is not cold, it is warm, as though someone is holding your hand from the other side, not gripping, not pulling, only holding. Softly, fondly, like an echo recognizing its source. The river shifts, but not from you, as if it too has remembered something. A path begins to form across it, delicate, suspended, not a bridge of stone or wood, but of light veins and stardust memory, each step pulsing faintly beneath a network of invisible chords, like a harp plucked by wind. You rise. The world behind begins to fade, not suddenly. It simply lets go. Its colors dim. Its sounds soften. You do not leave it behind. It releases you. You step onto the path, and beneath your feet, each movement draws a new sound, the ring of a wind chime buried in snow, a name whispered through water, the creak of a rocking chair with no one near it, still swaying from a memory not yet forgotten. You do not rush. You do not hesitate. You walk slowly, not forward but inward. With each step, you become lighter, not because you are losing weight, but because you are shedding what time once made heavy. The further you go, the more translucent you become. Your hands begin to glow faintly, not fading, not vanishing, becoming. You feel no fear, only deepening rhythm, the kind that lingers in the spaces between lullabies. And though the mirror remains behind, you feel its gaze within you now, not watching, remembering, like a presence that hums softly in your ribs, guiding you without words. Above, the sky begins to change. It is not blue. It is not dark. It is a tapestry of shifting memory, threads of forgotten constellations, starlight in the shape of moments never spoken aloud. One shines in the shape of a key, another, a feather, another, a doorway, slowly opening, then pausing, as if waiting for you to arrive. You walk beneath them. The path narrows slightly, but your steps grow more certain. You are not following a trail, you are creating it. The light beneath you responds to your breath. The river on either side remains still, but it listens. The veils that drift through it slow their dance and rise. One by one, they lift from the surface, not in chaos but in ceremony. They gather behind you, soft and weightless, and you realize they are becoming wings, not to fly, to remember how it feels to be lifted, to be carried by something older than time and lighter than sorrow. You do not look back. You do not need to. You know the mirror still watches gently from where you left it. You carry its silence now, like a second heart. The path begins to slope downward. At its end, a staircase made of glass. Each step shaped like an hour not yet lived. It descends into starlit fog. The air here is sacred, not in the way temples are, but in the way quiet is when held with tenderness. You pause, and then without doubt, you step forward. The veils of light, your wings, rise once more behind you. They do not push, they follow. Each step downward echoes like a soft bell, but not a toll, a greeting, a welcome. The fog thickens around you, glowing at its edges. You cannot see far ahead, but you do not need to, because you are not seeking, you are returning, and what waits is not unknown. It is known by the part of you that never needed language to remember. You descend slowly, each breath deeper, each thought softer, each heartbeat more whole. The glass staircase curves gently now, widening. The light changes, shifting into something warmer, like the glow of a candle seen through closed eyelids. And then you arrive. The staircase vanishes behind you, folding into mist. Before you, a room, circular, open to the sky above, where stars drift like memory soot. The floor is made of stone, etched with spirals, not written, not carved, grown, as though time itself had curled here and left its breath behind. In the center of the room, a pool, still, silver, glowing with memory light. You step to its edge and see nothing in its surface, only a waiting, only a quiet. You kneel once more, not to see, to be seen, and for a moment, a long, unmeasured moment. The pool responds, not with reflection, but with recognition. A shimmer rises, shapes begin to form, not of people, of moments. One by one, they drift upward, soft as fog, bright as prayer. A feather on a windowsill, a cup of tea gone cold beside an unread letter. A shadow across your bedroom wall the night before everything changed. They gather around you, not to remind, but to welcome. You close your eyes and hear the whisper of veils behind you. They do not vanish. They become part of your breath. The mirror is far away now, but its stillness is with you. You carry it, not as weight, but as rhythm, and as you sit beside the pool, letting your name float further from thought, a new sound begins to rise, faint, unfolding, like starlight learning how to sing. The fog ahead thickens, but you feel the presence beyond it, not a figure, not a face, a doorway, not yet seen, but near. And as you rise, the veils of light gather once more at your back, not as wings, as memory, and they guide you softly forward into what comes next. Not to forget, but to remember what never needed time to be. It is night, but the stars are not where they should be. They have all turned inward, not fallen, not scattered, only inverted. And now they glow softly from beneath the earth, casting an upside-down sky across the quiet plain. The ground beneath, your feet flickers faintly with starlight, as if you are walking upon memory that has not yet risen to the surface. The air is thick with hush, the kind that settles after a lullaby, or just before a candle sighs itself to sleep. It feels as though the world has exhaled and forgotten to breathe again. There is no wind, no moon, only the hum of silence stretched wide enough to carry you. And in the center of it all, standing alone, tall as a door, quiet as a vow, the mirror. Its edges are ringed with stones, carved not by chisel, but by breath. Their shapes are smooth, worn by centuries of wind that remembered every name it was asked to carry. The glass glows, but it does not shine. It does not cast light. It absorbs it, drinks it, the way memory drinks. Silence. You walk slowly toward it, each step softer than the last, and then your footsteps disappear, not muffled, not quieted, erased, as if the earth beneath you is unwriting your presence, gently returning you to what you were before movement. The mirror waits. Its surface does not greet you. It regards you, not with sight, but with recognition. It reflects nothing of what stands before it, only what lingers behind. In its depths, a candlelit room. There are no doors, no windows, only soft flickering light on old wood. A violin rests gently on a chair, one string trembling, faintly. No hand bows it. No sound is made, but you feel its tone within your chest. A note that never needed to be played to be heard. Beside it, a coat hangs loosely from the back of the chair, still warm with absence, and beneath it, a letter, unopened, its paper gently curled with time, its edges glowing faintly, as though it carries a message that still waits for the right pair of eyes to unfold it. You do not know these things, and yet, they know you. Perhaps these are not your memories, or perhaps they are, if not yours alone. The mirror does not distinguish between who dreams and who is dreamed. It simply holds what time could never name. You lift your hand. The glass does not ripple. It opens, not outward, not inward. It simply makes space, as if it has always contained you, and now is ready to welcome you home. Inside, there is no gravity, only feeling, an infinite dusk, not dark, not light, a sky that breathes in stillness. Doorways float here, hundreds, thousands, each one glowing softly, swaying like lanterns on an unseen sea. Some drift upward, tethered to nothing but longing. Others hover close to the ground, flickering faintly, as if unsure whether they are still remembered. You step in, barefoot, and your thoughts scatter. They drift like leaves caught in a current with no direction. Not lost, released. What remains is presence. You walk slowly. The stars beneath your feet shift with you, lighting the path as you move. Not guiding, following, mirroring each heartbeat with a gentle shimmer. A doorway opens nearby, not with sound, but with warmth. You pause beside it. Inside, a small kitchen at dusk. The sound of a chair being pulled back. A kettle beginning to hum. No people, no words, but the feeling of someone once waiting for someone else. A second doorway, a forest blanketed in snow. A pair of footprints, one leading in, none leading out. A scarf caught on a branch, still swaying. You do not step through. You pass. By the field of doorways stretches on endlessly, each one a moment, a memory, a whisper wrapped in shape. You begin to see patterns. Some doorways resemble those you've never entered, but dreamed of. Others mirror rooms you have long forgotten until now. The hallway from your childhood home, the closet where you used to hide, the window you once stared through while waiting for nothing in particular. None of them ask to be opened. They only invite you to remember that they existed. And as you walk, your body becomes less distinct, not fading, becoming part of the rhythm. Your arms soften into mist. Your breath aligns with the sway of the doors. You are not separate from this place. You are within its pulse. The ground beneath you pulses once more. Brighter. Now, the stars shifting, not in constellations, but in words. Words you've never seen written, but have always carried. They do not speak. They rest gently against your mind, like a hand placed on a shoulder in silent understanding. You reach a threshold, different than the others, not glowing. Still, Its frame is rough, carved from memory that has not yet been processed. A doorway of quiet waiting. You step toward it. And as you do, something shifts behind you. The mirror. It hums again, not loudly, just once. As if to say, I remain. Not goodbye. A promise. You pause. Look back. Though there is no back here, only a direction made by your gaze. You feel the echo of the violin's string, the warmth of the coat, the unread letter still pulsing softly from that other side, and you bow your head, not to the mirror, to the memory that chose to hold you. You face the threshold again. There is no handle, no hinge. It opens like breath. You pass through, and the dusk deepens, not in shadow, in closeness. Ahead, the stars begin to scatter, not from fear, but as if stepping aside to make room for something more intimate. A field unfolds, not of grass, of windows, each one standing upright in the soil, hundreds of them, glass panes glowing with inner light, each one facing in a different direction, each one watching. You walk among them. They do not reflect, they reveal. You look into one and see yourself. Not now, not before, but the moment just after a decision you never made. The way your face might have looked if you had turned left instead of right. Another window. You, as a child, not playing, sitting alone, fingers tracing circles on a rain-soaked window, not waiting for anything, just being. Another, a stranger, looking directly at you. Their eyes full of kindness, the kind of kindness that needs no reason. You touch the frame. It is warm, not from heat, from holding. You close your eyes, and in that moment, a breeze moves through the field, soft, slow, and the windows begin to turn, gently, silently, as though aligning for something long awaited. They do not close, they bow. You feel them, one by one, offering their stories back to the sky, and above, the stars pulse once more, this time in harmony. The mirror is gone now, but you carry its gaze. The dusk begins to brighten, not with light, but with understanding. The bell rings, somewhere far away, or perhaps within you, but not forward, in reverse. Unfolding sound backward through, silence, and it carries you, like a tide that doesn't pull, only opens. The field of windows grows distant, their lights dimming slowly, like breath being tucked beneath blankets of dawn. Ahead, a shimmer, not a mirror, not a door, but something between, something new. And as you drift toward it, barefoot and translucent, the stars beneath you soften into mist. The path no longer leads. It follows. You are not walking anymore. You are becoming, and what waits beyond this shimmer is not an end, but the next hush, waiting to be remembered. Beneath an ancient canopy, the sky drips slowly. Not rain, not snow, stars. Each one falling like a melting pearl, slow and luminous, as though time has loosened its hold and memory has begun to breathe. The trees above are taller than silence, their branches curved like questions left unanswered too long, and beneath them, a pool, still, black as forgotten ink. Its surface is not liquid, but glass, holding reflections that never belong to this world, and at its center, the mirror, floating, untethered, not held by water or earth or air, but by remembrance. It reflects nothing of what is around it, not the canopy, not the stars. It holds instead the sky as it once was, constellations forgotten even by the oldest dreams, shapes that were never named, only whispered. Each star blinked not with light, but with intention, like eyes just beginning to dream. You walk slowly around the edge, Your reflection drifts, fragmented by ripples that never move. The water does not shift, yet your image shivers, not with distortion, but recognition. The air here carries the scent of lavender and dust, the kind of dust that only settles on places held sacred too long to be touched. When you gaze into the mirror, you do not find your face. You find a field, golden with sleep, and in that field, a child, asleep, surrounded by clocks, hundreds of them, some ancient, carved from wood and song, others made of bone, sand, light, each one ticking in its own rhythm. Some move forward, some backward, some simply breathe, not counting time, but becoming it. You watch, and the child opens their eyes. They do not blink. They look directly into yours. You know them, though you have never met. Or perhaps you always have. Perhaps this is not now. Perhaps it is always now. The mirror does not explain. It offers only stillness, not passive, not absent. The kind of stillness that sees everything and holds it without judgment. You reach toward the surface, not to ask a question, only to be known. Your fingertips extend, and the pool beneath begins to deepen, not by movement, but by invitation. The mirror sinks gently, folding into the darkness like a sigh, and you are drawn forward. You do not fall, you glide, downward into soft dark, not empty, just unlit. The clocks grow louder, their ticking begins to echo, then layer, then distort, then hush, each sound peeling away until there is nothing, not even your breath, just presence. You are standing now, in a hallway, but there are no walls, only open doorways, dozens, hundreds, each one flickering with soft inner light. None of them lead outside. There is no outside, only inward. Each room glows with a different hue, a different warmth, a different ache. You step toward one. Inside, a girl with ink-stained fingers, writing names on scraps of blue ribbon and tying them to a tree with no leaves. Another doorway. A man sits by a fireplace, reading aloud to a photograph in a cracked frame. His voice wavers, not from age, from knowing it is the last time. Another, a woman asleep beneath a window, hand pressed to her chest. A shadow leans toward her, not to wake her, but to listen. These are not your memories, or maybe they are, the ones you've carried for others, or the ones passed to you in silence, dreams borrowed in sleep and returned before waking. You move slowly between them. The hallway is lined with ash, soft, warm. It breathes slightly beneath your steps, not in protest, in remembrance. You are barefoot. The ash does not cling to you. It accepts you. Each step releases a faint murmur, like a name once spoken in a storm, now whispered through sleep. You keep walking. You do not choose a doorway. You listen, and the silence inside you begins to answer. The mirror is gone. You feel its absence, the way you feel the pause between one note and the next, not as loss, but as anticipation. Its silence lingers in your breath. Its patience lives in your bones. Far ahead, the hallway narrows. The doorways begin to close behind you, not quickly, not sadly, with reverence, as though each room now seen has returned to sleep. You do not look back, only forward, and in the distance, you hear something, a window, closing, slowly, softly. The sound is not sharp, it is gentle, like fabric brushing against time. The breeze that follows hums faintly, and in its breath, the shape of a lullaby you never learned but somehow always knew. You follow it, not to find, to remember. And the hallway begins to change. The ash beneath your feet becomes softer, lighter. It begins to lift grain by grain into the air, becoming mist. You breathe it in, and with it, scent. Rain on warm stones, rose petals left too long on a windowsill. The inside of a beloved book opened after years of silence. Ahead, the last doorway. It is not open, not closed. It simply waits. You reach out, but your hand does not touch a handle. It touches the space between choices, and the door begins to dissolve, not into dust, into light. Behind it, a sky, not the one you left above the canopy, a new one, or an old one, lit with stars that breathe, each one softly pulsing in rhythm with your chest. You step through, and everything falls quiet, not silent. Held. You are in a new field. It does not stretch wide. It wraps gently, like arms. Windows float here too, but they are different, dimmer. Their glass clouded with softness, each one turned inward, as if they are dreaming themselves. You sit in the center and listen, not to sound, to presence. You feel the child from the mirror, still watching, still waiting, still with you. Time does not return. It never left. It simply stopped needing to move. You close your eyes, and all around you, the clocks begin again, not to count, to bless, to mark this stillness as sacred, and somewhere in the distance, a bell rings forward, calling softly toward the next horizon, and beyond the glass of the nearest window, something stirs, not yet known, but near, and the story breathes onward. A soft rain falls without sound. Each drop glows faintly, silver gold, pearl pale, catching a light that doesn't seem to come from the sky. They fall slowly, as though time itself is dreaming. And when they touch the earth, they vanish into mist, not absorbed, released, as if the world beneath them is remembering how to breathe. You stand beneath an ancient tree. Its branches do not rise. They fall, heavy with stillness, woven with age. Its roots twist like old thoughts, through the soil, curling deep and wide and sacred. This is not a living tree. It is a sleeping one, and beneath its tangled base, something waits. You kneel without knowing why. Your fingers brush against the earth, soft and damp, and the dirt gives way like silk soaked in memory. There, buried halfway in soil, tucked between root and silence, the mirror. It does not gleam. It rests. Its edges blurred by time, its surface not smooth but fractured gently, like frozen breath across still water. When you touch it, the mirror exhales. No sound escapes, only a feeling, a warmth like someone turning over in sleep after hearing a name spoken softly. You lean closer, expecting, what? Reflection, but it gives you none. Instead, a stairwell, winding, spiraling, both upward and downward, endlessly. Each step carved not of stone, but of pause. The stairwell is filled with shadows, not dark, not threatening, only paused. They linger along the spiral, each one turned slightly toward you. And just as your breath stills, one shadow gestures, not a beckoning, a remembering. You do not feel called, you feel witnessed. And as you look deeper into the mirror, the stairwell shifts. It becomes a spiral shell, then a river, then a pulse, all of it looping, not repeating, remembering, in new shapes. The rhythm of something ancient, slow and sacred. You reach toward the glass, and the surface crumbles beneath your touch, not into shards, into starlight. Fine as mist, bright as forgiveness. The roots above you sway, though no wind stirs, as if a forgotten season had passed through the branches and left only understanding behind. You step forward, not into the mirror, into the space where it once was, and the air changes. It thickens with memory, not scent, not sound, memory. It presses gently against your skin, your chest, your ribs. Faces drift past you like veils, each one incomplete, but whole in feeling. A mother, humming softly to someone who is no longer there. A friend, waving from a train that never stopped. A lover, whispering your name in a language that doesn't exist, but which you somehow still understand. These are not stories, they are seeds. They settle in your breath, they bloom without bloom. A warmth grows behind your eyes. Not sorrow, something deeper. The stairwell reforms ahead, not of stone now, but of fog and bell chimes. Each step plays a note. You have never heard these notes before, and yet you already know them. They are the music of what was never written, the melody of dreams that slipped through cracks in language. You climb. Each step is softer than the last. You do not know if you are rising or descending. You only know that you are remembering, not with thought, with motion, with presence. The mirror is gone now, but its echo lives in your breath. Behind you, the roots close gently over its resting place. No sound, just settling. As if the tree has accepted that something has returned to it. The path narrows, the fog thickens, and the chimes fade, replaced by something quieter, something truer. You arrive at a threshold. There is no door, only a shift in the air. Beyond it, a space, neither room nor forest, not sky, not dream. It is a field made of music, woven in mist. Shapes move through it. Soft, blurry, each one singing without voice, each one lit from within. You step in barefoot. The ground hums with every heartbeat you've ever forgotten to honor. Faces drift by, some familiar, others almost. They don't look at you, they recognize you. And with every step you take, another sound joins the silence. The turning of a page that was never written. The hush of a curtain drawn in a room no longer used. The inhalation just before a name is spoken and caught in the throat. You do not cry, but something within you softens, as if the parts of yourself that once held tension have been sung into rest. The path curves gently now, forming a spiral, smaller and smaller, until you arrive again at yourself, but different, not changed, recalled, and before you, a single veil, hanging from nothing, made of woven light and memory. You lift it. Behind it, a shape, not a figure, not a place, a pulse. You place your hand against it, and a tone rings out, low, deep, clear. It's the same tone the stairwell sang, but now it stretches, expands, becomes a thread. You feel it move through you, outward, towards something not yet seen. You follow. The fog begins to thin, and ahead, a new space. A hall made entirely of silence, its ceiling high, like memory. Its walls made of still water, each pane reflecting moments not yet lived. You walk the center line. On either side, glimpses. A quiet conversation between two people who never met. A child planting paper stars into the soil. Someone, maybe you, lighting a candle in an empty room and then blowing it out before leaving. These moments pass you gently. You do not need to hold them. They are already part of you. You reach the end of the hall, and the silence hums, not as music, as presence. You sit, you breathe, and the air wraps around you like a blanket made of first words. Somewhere, high above the canopy of forgotten branches, the soft rain begins again, each drop a bell, each note a blessing, and as the veil behind you falls quietly back into place, you feel the mirror once more, not behind you, within you. It no longer reflects, it remembers. You close your eyes, and the chimes return, one by one, leading you toward the final hush, where the dream does not end, only folds deeper into the rhythm of what has always been waiting. There is a hallway that stretches infinitely. Its ceiling is the sky, but the sky is not blue, nor black, nor grey. It is white with trembling light, and instead of rain, it weeps small, luminous droplets. They do not fall fast. They pause mid-air, suspended, as though reluctant to leave the sky's embrace. Each one glows, each one listens. This is not weather. It is memory, falling in the form of light, and beneath it, you walk. Or perhaps you drift. For the floor is made not of stone, not of soil, but mirrored tiles, and none reflect the same thing. One shows autumn leaves, rising from the ground, curling upward into trees that bloom in reverse. Another shows a room, empty, but filled with breath. You feel it in your ribs. The breath of someone waiting, long ago, for someone who never returned. Another still, an eclipse, frozen in time, the sun's edges trembling with longing, a moment caught forever in the hush between darkness and light. You move gently forward. The reflections do not follow you. They remember you. With each step, your thoughts begin to lift from your body like mist from water at dawn. Your name loosens, its grip. Your stories begin to hum in languages you've never learned, yet understand completely. The hallway does not end. It opens, and there, hovering just ahead, the mirror, suspended not by chain, not by wall. It floats inside a frame woven of shadow and soft gold thread, untouched by gravity, untouched by expectation. It faces nothing, and yet you know it waits. For you. Not exactly. It waits for permission, to be seen, to be carried, to be remembered. You draw near, and your breath slows. Not because of fear, because of reverence. The closer you come, the lighter you feel, until weight becomes story, and story becomes air. You look into the mirror, and it does not offer you a face, nor a memory. It offers possibility, but not the kind with paths and choices. This is a possibility folded into silence. Within the mirror, a candle being lit in a cave beneath the sea. Its flame shivers, yet never drowns, a feather drifting upward, into fire. It does not burn, it becomes the flame. A letter, written in starlight, sealed with longing, never sent, but held forever in the pocket of a coat never worn. You reach out. The mirror does not ripple, it sighs, a deep, aching breath. The kind of exhale the world makes when something sacred is finally understood without being spoken. And then, soundlessly, the mirror begins to turn. It rotates slowly. And what was once reflection becomes void, but not empty, not dark, not forgotten, only waiting. A quiet space where becoming has yet to begin. You do not step forward. You surrender, not with your feet, with your willingness, and the mirror receives you. There is no threshold, only release. On the other side, time no longer walks. It drifts, softly, like pollen through a spring dusk. You do not land. You float, past images that are not scenes, not memories, but sacred driftings. A grandfather whispering secrets to the moon, each syllable curling through space like ink across night. A child drawing circles in ash with fingers that remember stars. A figure dancing alone beside a burning tree. They wear no name, but their sorrow glows like grace. None of them look at you, but each one seems to know you, are there, and that is enough. You move through them, not as a witness, as a rhythm. You are not apart from this place. You are inside its breath. The mirror no longer exists, but you feel it, in the way your heart no longer beats, but hums. A second pulse, subtle, steady, unnameable. You carry its presence now, the way a dream carries a scent that lingers long after waking. Ahead, the space unfolds, not into rooms, but into windows, a library of windows, standing freely in air. They do not hang, they hover, each one framed by silence, each pane glowing with inner light. You walk among them, and they do not reflect, they reveal. Behind, one, a mother and son brushing their teeth beside each other in quiet harmony. Behind another, two lovers sitting across a table, not speaking, simply holding eye contact like they are memorizing each other's soul. Behind a third, a hand reaching for another in the dark, stopping just before touch. These are not memories. These are truths, the soft, sacred ones, the ones never told aloud. Each window feels warm as you pass, not with heat, with recognition. You stop before one and look inside. There, yourself. Not now, not then. A version of you that never existed in waking time, but has always existed in the folds. Between thought and silence, they turn to face you, they smile, and in that smile is every door you've ever hesitated to open. You do not need to step through, you already have. The window breathes once, then dims. The next one opens slightly. Inside, a tree covered in keys. Hundreds. Each one tied to a ribbon, some fluttering. In wind, some still. You do not know what they open, only that each one was given, never taken. The mirror within you stirs, and the hallway of windows begins to bend, not into a circle, into a spiral. Each step downward brings you closer to something that does not have a name, but you recognize its pull, the way a river recognizes the ocean it's never seen. At the center of the spiral, a single pane of glass. It is not framed, it is not held, it floats like breath before it becomes word. You approach, inside, nothing, just soft white. And then, a shape, blurry, shifting, not coming into focus, coming into feeling. It feels like home, not a place, not a person. A moment, you step toward it, and your shadow vanishes, not gone, joined. With the silence, the glass pulses once, and your breath aligns. You are still. You are ready. Whatever waits beyond this pain is not a destination. It is a return. You place your hand against it, and everything you've ever forgotten to remember opens like a flower under moonlight. The mirror was never behind you. It has always been ahead. And as this final window turns to mist, you walk forward into the last passage, where light no longer falls. It rises, and what you become next will not be seen, only known. There is a shore at the edge of forgetting. No map can find it. No tide can reach it. The sea does not move here. It remembers. Its waves stretch forward, then pause, not in hesitation, but in reverence. And above, the sky is caught in eternal cusp, not night, not day. Just that soft hush before the world decides which to become. You walk alone across the shoreline. The sand beneath your feet is unlike anything you've known. It is made not of grain, but of whispering dust. Each step stirs, a song half sung, half forgotten. Fragments of lullabies. Prayers whispered into pillows. Wishes made in passing and never recalled. The wind carries no chill, but every breeze feels like the breath of someone who once thought of you while the stars blinked overhead. At the center of this quiet world stands a mirror, upright. Still, half sunken in the sand, as though placed here long ago by hands that have since become wind. Its surface is clouded with salt and silence. Time has touched it gently, then moved on. You approach, and the air thickens, not with heat, but warmth. The kind of warmth that comes not from fire, but from memory. The warmth of arms once wrapped around you, the hush of a goodbye spoken without words. As you draw near, the mirror does not shimmer, it exhales, and what it shows is not your face, but a silhouette, walking away, slowly, deliberately. And as it fades, it does not vanish. It transforms. It becomes birds, thousands of them, rising in silence, their wings scattering tiny glowing symbols into the sky. Each one a gesture, a name, a memory released too softly to fall. They drift upward, vanish before they touch the ground. And yet, something in you remembers them all. You kneel before the mirror, and a hush spreads outward. Even the waves seem to hold their breath. Light within the mirror begins to glow, not bright, but deep, and you realize it is not reflecting, it is remembering. You are not being shown something new. You are being returned to what always was. A heartbeat, a glance, a silence that once meant everything, and still does. Within the mirror, images begin to drift forward. Like petals on water, you see a garden. There are no gates, no fences, only open air. And within the soil, names bloom as flowers. Some you know, some you've forgotten. Some you feel like you once were. The petals lift slightly, even without wind, as if bowing to you. You see a stairway, descending endlessly into a well of lanterns. Each one glowing, each one holding a moment, not lost, not relived, just resting. You see a door. You recognize it. It is the one you passed long ago as a child. You remember its shape, its scent, the feeling in your chest when you stood before it but didn't reach out. It has waited, and now its handle glows. Not with urgency, with invitation. You press your hand to the mirror. The glass does not resist. It wraps around your palm, not with cold, not with weight, but like fabric woven from silence. It gathers around you like a cloak, not to hide you, but to carry you. You rise, and your feet no longer touch the sand. The world below does not fall away. It bows, and you drift upward, not flying, returning. The birds above shimmer again, but now they do not scatter, they align. They form a path, a trail of wings and light, leading into the sky, a sky that no longer holds time. You follow it. Softly, your body lighter than breath, each motion guided not by will, but by rhythm. A rhythm older than language, older than sleep. You pass through layers of air that feel like memories unspoken. You hear no voices, but feel every thought ever held for you. The stars here do not shine. They pulse, each one a bell struck gently in a cathedral of hush, and below, the mirror remains. It does not fade. It remains, pulsing, guarding, honoring, all that must never be forgotten, all that cannot be named. You continue to drift, past the place where thought becomes presence, past the edge of the last known horizon, and the birds around you begin to dissolve, not vanish, but turn into light. Their feathers unfurl into threads of warmth, looping around you like veins of starlight. You are no longer moving, you are becoming. A doorway appears, formless at first, then shaped by your breath, not made of wood or glass or dream, but of everything that has ever waited for you. It opens inward, not to let you through, to let you in. On the other side, there is not a place. There is a knowing, a warmth that hums with every version of yourself that once wondered if this moment would ever arrive. You do not step into it. You melt into it, like rain into still water, like song into memory. And as you dissolve into that sacred rhythm, you feel the mirror one last time, not calling you back, not asking you to stay, just watching and promising, that no part of you will ever be forgotten, even the parts you've never met. Above, the sky dims further, not in darkness, in peace. The tide does not rise, the wind does not stir, the mirror remains, half sunken in the whispering sand, still, silent, luminous, and far beyond it. You rest, no longer within the dream. You are now the hush that carries it. You are the space between the lullaby and the breath that follows. The story has no ending. It only folds deeper into the soft rhythm of becoming, and you drift on.